I love Zelda games. I've played every single one of them to date and had an enjoyable experience with every single game, even with what seems to be everyone's favorite Zelda to hate on nowadays, Skyward Sword. Now, everyone's reaction to this game was pretty mixed, mainly due to how controversial the controls were. You're telling me I can only swing my sword by moving the Wii remote? Like, a lot of people felt that the controls could be inaccurate and just weren't fans of what Nintendo had done by making a Zelda game that relied solely on motion controls. Not to mention this awkward-ass demonstration of the game where the controls simply would not work for Miyamoto, and it just did not bode well for our experience with the game when the guy playing it on stage can't even get it to work properly. And they blamed it on cell phone usage. It was like, okay, yeah, sure, alright.
Now you have to pay attention because the only way to defeat it is to cut it in the same direction that its mouth is.
Oh my. So for a lot of people, the motion controls were a hit or miss. For me, it was an absolute hit. I loved how the enemies were designed specifically with the motion controls in mind, and that you had to use the Wii Remote to perform precise strikes in order to be able to take down your enemies. Regardless, the motion controls were something entirely new for the Zelda series, and I can understand that sometimes change just doesn't mesh well with some people. I mean, just think back to Wind Waker. People absolutely despised how that game looked. They were like, what in the hell is this? They wanted something like that one tech demo with Link and Ganon having an epic battle. They wanted that, not this whitey-tidy Peter Pan lookalike. And how wrong they were. Wind Waker ended up being an absolutely spectacular experience, and when fans think back to Wind Waker nowadays, they have nothing but good things to say about it. All this to say, I actually think Skyward Sword is a much better game than people make it out to be, and people made things seem like Skyward Sword was just so much worse than it was because they simply didn't like the direction this new Zelda game took the franchise. So when Skyward Sword was announced on the new Nintendo Direct, I was like, alright, let's go. This was the one Zelda game that, in my opinion, needed a remaster, especially due to the art style and how much an HD resolution will do wonders for the graphics in this game. And also, so many people will now get to experience the game on the Switch, one of the most accessible consoles in history, and I honestly thought, what a great move by Nintendo. Sure, we all wanted to hear more about Breath of the Wild 2, which I'm still salty about just being told it's in development, but the remaster was a nice substitute, and at least we're getting something Zelda this year. I'm gonna go ahead and finally give Nintendo credit where credit is due. Good job, guys. Wait, just a goddamn minute, hold on. They priced it at $60? See, this is why I have a love-hate relationship with Nintendo, guys. Now, I have a history of criticizing Nintendo for their greedy business practices on their beloved games. First, it was Super Mario 3D All-Stars, an absolutely pathetic release in celebration of Mario's 25th anniversary that is being sold for a limited time, both physically and digitally, which is expiring in about a month, because Nintendo's corporate are a bunch of money-grubbing assholes. And now they're doing it again with Skyward Sword HD, an almost 10-year-old game that they're pricing for 60 buckaroos. I literally told you guys this was going to happen, man. People ate up Mario 3D All-Stars like hotcakes, so it's really no surprise that they pulled the same stunt with Zelda. At least this one isn't a limited release. Nintendo decided to let us mortals have our cake and eat it too for once. I will absolutely laugh my ass off if Skyward Sword ends up being emulated like Mario 3D All-Stars was. What an absolute joke that would be. Now, scrolling through the comments of this little trailer's release, I found this absolute gem of a YouTube comment that had a decent amount of likes from people, which blew my mind, and I wanted to discuss it for a second here. Let me just go ahead and get this out of the way, guys. Nintendo has been pricing their legacy content at absurd prices for years now, and Skyward Sword being priced at $60 isn't anything new. But that doesn't make it okay. What needs to happen is people need to wake the fuck up, man. I've made multiple videos on Nintendo being absolute money-grubbing bastards, but I guess I just can't say it enough. I didn't buy any of the Zelda remasters, nor did I buy Nintendo's shitty remaster of the 3D Marios, and nor will I be buying the HD remaster of Skyward Sword. Sorry guys, okay, listen, buying Skyward Sword for $60 on the Switch is absolutely asinine. I want to buy it just as bad as all of you. I wanted to buy the Zelda remasters, and 3D All-Stars. Like, I'm a Nintendo fan too, guys. I'm one of the people that actually even like the fact that Skyward Sword is getting a remaster, because I actually like that game. But I just can't justify paying the price of a game released in 2021 for a 10-year-old game that I've already played through once before. Another part of this guy's argument is that Nintendo makes their money off the 99% of people who don't argue online about them. And I mean, yeah, he's probably right about that too. But does that mean we should just roll over and let Nintendo walk all over us? Oh, guys, they're just gonna buy it anyway. Why are you guys even complaining? Well, I guarantee you, if we keep letting them do this shit, soon $60 won't be enough. They'll want 70, they'll want 80, then they'll want us to pay subscriptions. We're gonna have to start paying subscriptions to play Zelda games or to play Mario games. We'll just have subscriptions for just each exclusively popular Nintendo franchise. And that's the only way we're gonna get to play them. They're just gonna find more ways to squeeze money out of their fans like a tub of fucking toothpaste because they can. I mean, just look at online gaming. That's one example. Both Nintendo's and Sony's online services used to be free, but look at Xbox. They're making bank off of Xbox Live. So what did Nintendo and Sony do? They started making people pay for online, and Nintendo's service is absolutely shit in comparison to both of their competitors at that. At least Sony and Xbox are trying over here, and PlayStation Plus actually provides more value than just online gaming. So to say that we should just stop bitching about it because people are gonna buy Nintendo's products anyway is such a stupid argument. The only way that people are going to realize that the shit Nintendo's doing is scummy is if people start thinking about Nintendo's business practices and questioning, hey, you know, is this game really worth full price? And the only people I'm blaming here are the corporate people at Nintendo. I freaking hate these people's guts. But the people who make Nintendo's games, I absolutely love them. Retro Studios, I freaking love you guys. You do a wonderful job and definitely make me a Nintendo fanboy. It's just the people in suits at Nintendo that piss me the hell off. So if you want to go out and buy Skyward Sword this summer, by all means, do it. I'm not telling you what to do with your money. But I do want you guys to start thinking and having a discussion like, is this really worth what I'm spending? For people who haven't played Skyward Sword before, I think this HD release is the perfect way to play it. But these newcomers shouldn't have to pay $60 for something that Nintendo is literally just going to slap some increased resolution on and call it a day. Now, what do you all think of Skyward Sword's price point? Is it fair, unfair, or do you think Nintendo's corporate needs an overhaul like I do? Let me know down in the comments below, and like, subscribe, yada yada yada, or I'm gonna eat your Switch.